Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sometimes It Happens, Sometimes It Doesn't morning show that is Brace Your Eyes, Dawn Has Arrived. And just to let you know, the stream itself isn't really coming up on my YouTube studios. So if there's some technical wackiness going on, you'll know why. But let me check if it's... I can view it on the regular YouTube. I can't view it, however, on inside the YouTube studio itself. It just says an error has occurred. Up on my hello YouTube studios. Yes. Okay. So at least I'd be able to see something there. And I see Goji Shay's in the chat. He says toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Indeed. Okay, so yeah, let me get the other things ready to go. You know, actually, yeah, no background music, because I might be able to repurpose this later as its own video. Okay. So yeah, let me get some things ready. Oh, hello, what's this? Okay. Get rid of you. And get rid of you. Okay. Alright. Uh-oh. More technical issues. Oh man. Okay, this is weird. Alright, thank God I have two screens, but might have to get myself some other kind of internet thing just to kind of deal with this in the future. But yeah, let me prepare the dual screens going on. Find some better streaming service. Well, I take that back. OBS has been very good to me. So I can't do half the stupid things that I do without OBS. So I will not be too harsh. And this is going to be a short stream, so I'm only going to be here until maybe around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock my time. Currently it's 3:35. So don't know what time it is on your guys' end, although likely you've all gone out to go to work and whatnot. So because I can remember the majority of my viewers and subscribers are in the central time zone. So yeah, there we go. All right. Jugless Juggler says is here, and he says hello everyone. Okay, so just checking some things. Okay, then I'll have to use YouTube itself to monitor chats and all that. And if you have a question, you really want me to answer it, definitely put a giant Q&A. It's 9:35 on your end. Okay. Yes. And 8:35 on Shay's end. Okay, yeah, so you guys are definitely in different time zones than I am. Meanwhile, a lot of other people who usually wake up early in the morning are probably out right now. So next time I do one of these things, I might do at 4 a.m. my time. So it'll be like roughly 6 or 7 your times. So... okay. So before we continue, right now I'm using the month of December just to catch up on a lot of commissions and sort of promised art gifts. This is a commission I'm doing for one individual. It's Gorosaurus. It's going to double as a kaiju portrait, although I might actually skip out the usual black background that I usually do for kaiju portraits and put in like an actual forest surrounding. I thought about maybe extending all the way down with the feet, but it's, you know, this is all, it's based on a relatively rough draft that I did in MS Paint, or Bitmap, if you will, and I had to recolor it, re-ink it digitally, through Photopea here, which, by the way, is a great service. Consider supporting them. It's definitely a lot cheaper than Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. That's for sure. But yeah, Gorosaurus here is almost done. I just got to finish the gradients on his body and add some extra pattern coloring. But for the most part, his coloring is perfect almost. Although it's a lot more brighter than it was in King Kong Escapes. But it's like, that's the thing about these kaiju suits. It's like, even if you get the right color, the lighting and shading from real world photographs don't exactly help you out. So, oh no. Uh-oh. Hold on. Looks like we got kind of bad news going on. I recently touched 1K subscribers, but sadly looks like I'm back to 99 subscribers. So that kind of sucks, unfortunately. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up the momentum, so to speak. But yeah, that's a little bit of a disappointment. Oh well, just one. Maybe, yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe if I start doing more of these, I might actually get more views. And this is probably the only stream I'm going to be doing this week. Although I definitely will be doing a Ask Me Anything live stream on Tuesday. And we might do a very brief stream on Monday, depending on how things go. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Gorosaurus is coming out here pretty okay. This is the full coloring. He's kind of a weirdish bluish color. I'm doing my best to follow the colors from the original King Kong versus King Kong Escapes costume. So of course some liberties had to be taken here and there. I'm still not finished. I gotta add a little bit of yellow underneath his legs here, and possibly darken the upper parts of his teeth, and we'll see where that goes. So okay, and then here's the original inks. What I like to do is, I like, as much, if I can get it done as much as possible, I like to digitally ink the whole character. Although in retrospect, I should have just inked this and cleaned it up in post, because this character is a lot more complicated than it was. So I had to do a lot of finagling and detail work. But thankfully, I was able to get it done in a timely manner, relatively speaking. But yeah, I like to digitally do the inks as much as possible, and then do a white filler behind it, which I will sometimes use for other layers. Like, I'll select all, and then I can do the coloring, or I can do select all and then do another layer and do all the gradients too. So it's as simple as, might as well show it to you guys right now, because this is kind of educational. So yeah, I have the white filler highlighted, touched upon in the layer area. All right, select all, copy, paste. All right, move it onto the top here. Okay. Now it's on normal mode, so I put it on multiply so you can see through it. And if I want gradients, I go here to use saturation. Pull it all the way down from saturation and lightness to black. Save that, and then go back and readjust that same layer to 50%. And I note then in the past I used to do the gradients one section at a time, but this saves a lot more time and effort. And then I just go in and with my eraser just, start doing gradients like that. So I'm giving you like a very brief version of what I do here. But yeah, it saves me a lot more time. Hello, Big Jack Films. Long time no see. Hope the King Kong stuff is doing good. Okay. Oh, Big Jack Films. Since you are a big fan of King Kong related material, I highly recommend the Doctor Who serial Robot, which was Tom Baker, aka the Fourth Doctor's first serial, because that heavily takes cues from King Kong. So yeah, by all means, that might be a great video in the future. Although, be warned, it is a BBC property, so they might give you a little bit of flack, but still images and limited audio would help big time. I think, yeah, so yeah, definitely check out Doctor Who Robot. It's a fun serial. It's not the most boring or most exciting entry in Doctor Who, but I think it's a little underrated. Okay, so but yeah, there's that's just kind of an idea of what's going on here. So, but we're not going to be working on Gorosaurus today, and I do want to show off this guy right here. Hold on, I'm going to close up Gorosaurus. All right, and Big Jack says we're currently working on a new batch of episodes, hopefully for March. Oh, good for you. So, yeah, you definitely have introduced me to some lesser known giant gorillas. So, um, and also Big Jack Films, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe and get me back to 1K. I just need one or two people. Oh god, that's I'm a little under the weather, so if I have to mute here, that's because I'm coughing a little bit. I still have a bit of a cold, so I'm doing my best talking. Now this character here is Agitar, and he's an old monster creation of mine. He's basically an evil post-apocalyptic fossil monster. He's he's heavily inspired by monsters like Silvergon and Red King, but he's definitely much more sadistic and villainous in that regard. Um, but with that said, this is actually based on a sketch from my friend Lydia. Lydia is a big fan of this character, and she actually did this really fun fan sketch of the character a couple of years ago. I rediscovered it while I was organizing some stuff in my collection. Thank you, Big Jack, very much for the sub. Um, that's a cool monster rap. Thank you, Juggler Struggler. And Goji says robot's a good introduction to Tom Baker's Doctor. Yes, indeed. Um, Hold on, I gotta mute myself and cough. Uh, okay. Low key, but if you ever want to make us some artwork, I'm in. I'm always up for commissions if that's the case, or artwork for video editing if that's also a nice little trade. But yeah, Agitar here is basically an original kaiju. He looks like he's made of bony rock, but this is actually mostly muscle with armored skin. But yeah, my friend Lydia, aka Riff Witch, she created this. She drew this really awesome sketch of Agitar, and I found it in my PC storage, so to speak, or CDR storage, if you will. And I decided to ink it and fully color it. So this is both a gift art to her based on her artwork, but also I'm going to be reincorporating this into that big kaiju art book that I'm currently working on. And so far I'm at like 159 pages, although there's a lot more artwork that I was really hoping to add to it. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually debating maybe I should do it as a section of like different volumes and then maybe just do a giant omnibus later in the future. But yeah, I got so much material right now, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's Agitar. I'm glad you guys really like him, even though he doesn't like you. Now, this one, I'm not too thrilled with this one, and I only brought this up because Big Jack's here, and I know he likes the giant monkeys. Um, monkey, as the kids would say. This is a red monkey. Originally, this character was supposed to be my take on an unmade kaiju film called Mortal. Mortal was supposed to be an American-Japanese co-production from the late 1970s. And very little is known about it other than that it was mentioned in a blurb in Variety, and that it was going to be another Japanese monster movie but taken to a slightly more horrific level. So I'm the best I can figure that it would be something like imagine a remake of War of the Gargantuas, but which is Gyra and the violence taken up a bit, as best as late 1970s Japanese cinema could do. And since they say it is a Japanese monster movie, no clue if it was giant or otherwise, but most people assume it's just a giant monster movie. This was originally my take on what the possible simian creature, that's the only name given for the beast. Basically, the plot of the movie was a strange simian creature is awakened from a volcano, hence it's probably gigantic because I don't think it would be a regular sized simian creature, and goes on a violent rampage in Tokyo, or Japan at least, in search of food. Originally, when I did my own character version of what this hypothetical fan-made version of what the simian creature was going to look like, I decided to kind of play it cheeky because apparently this was going to be a co-production between a very small, obscure American company called Punch Productions and Toei, the big Japanese company responsible for Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and practically any anime you love. But they were also doing movies like Legend of the Dinosaurs and Message from Space in the past. So I kind of did a cheeky thing where I took a design of one of the simian monsters from one of their recent Super Sentai shows and reimagined it as a uh, full gorilla style kaiju or a primate style kaiju. But I realized that if I was going to do a hypothetical redesign of a of a kaiju that was never made, a movie that was canceled or unproduced, I'd have to kind of think. I would have to kind of do educated guesswork and make the monster actually look like what it would look like if it was done in that era. In fact, while we're at it, I might as well bring up the design I eventually went with. This is just really show and tell for the first couple of minutes before I go into the sexy mermaid artwork. But don't worry, I think it's relatively tame, so I think we'll be okay. Or will we? I may have lost that one subscriber because I may have made a stupid joke or something. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so this version of the simian creature that you see is way too nice for something that could be made in the 1970s. Way too cool and sophisticated. This is based by the way, on a simian, on a primate villain who has showed up in one of the Hurricaneger movies. You know, the wacky ninja Super Sentai that eventually gave rise to Power Rangers Ninja Storm. So when I did a second take on, oh, it's not showing up. Oopsie. Okay, hold on. My search engine is kind of weird, so sometimes I have to go in there and give it a bit of a push. Sorry about that. Okay. So when I did a second take on the simian creature, I decided to go with something a little more age appropriate, like a weird, the kind of like some of the weird monsters you'd expect to find in a Japanese horror film from the late 70s and throughout the 80s. And also something that probably Toei could realistically do. Granted, I went a little overboard with the horror movie, with the horror type stuff going on here. And made the creature a little too ominous, complete with the glowing eyes. But I did stick to the point that it's a simian-like creature, not 100% one-to-one. And I decided to kind of make it look like the creature's fur was sort of matted and deformed a bit from all the ash that was probably sleeping in, since, again, it's sort of a quasi-volcano monster. So, yeah, so this is a much more fair, educated guess version of what the simian creature from Mortal was going to look like. As for the original design, I decided just to repurpose it and just make it more or less my own original monster, loosely inspired by Mortal. So there you go, Red Monkey. And the Red Monkey thing, the name itself, is kind of slightly inspired by the Twilight Zone radio version of The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Since this character's big gimmick is that he has the ability to mind control humans and force them to either, force them to become more violent and horrific than they already are. So, to his bidding, or just to cause mayhem for the sake of causing mayhem. He's definitely a much more nastier character than Agitar is, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, and one moment here, I'm going to check. I might have accidentally left my back door open. And what I mean by back door, I mean literally my back door in the kitchen. That's why suddenly there's a draft going on. Give me 1 second. Nope, everything's okay here. Okay, we're good. I'm coming back. I will check out your 10th anniversary video. Hopefully when I get back. I'm supposed to be going out with some friends this weekend. So no clue how close I'll get to my computer. But yeah, I'm happy with the way this goes. But because this is definitely not an official design for the simian creature from Mortal, I'm tempted to maybe repurpose this again for my kaiju art book. But for the most part, I'll leave it as is. So, alright. So there goes all the wholesome kaiju stuff. Onto the sexy mermaid. Okay, so the thing is, this isn't really commissioned, but it is a fan piece based on a character called Galia Theodora, made by an artist named Veil City. And I believe Vale City is a girl, and she does a lot of artwork of buxom monster girls and whatnot. So, and I've drawn characters of hers in the past, and she's appreciated it. And if you're a dude, I deeply apologize. Um, but yeah, this is a character that was voted in a poll on my DeviantArt. I've drawn her before for a comical picture called Jealous Fishes. Terrible pun, I know, horrible pun. Jealous fishes. And this design here is more closer to the original version of Galia Theodora because she was a mermaid from a very minor character in a not exactly safe for work comic book that Vale City made a long time ago, and I just thought the character was fetching enough to do some fan art. But yeah, I isolated her from the original picture. And this version, I don't know why I gave her the little head thing here. So that's not at all close to the original design whatsoever. And I'd show you the original design, but obviously I won't. So, yeah, for obvious reasons. That draft was a ghost behind you, Raph? No, it wasn't Goji Shay. It was just the cats moving some plastic. So, yeah, I'm going to be coloring the picture of Galia Theodora here. But, yeah, she was voted as my next art piece on my DeviantArt page. I put up a poll, and apparently 40 people really wanted to see a sexy mermaid. And this gal was already halfway finished as far as the prep work went. So there you go. Now, unfortunately, unlike the Gorosaurus piece, this is actually scanned inks, so I couldn't really do the separate layers that I usually do. But I did cut it out a bit, and as much as I love Photopea, it's not like Adobe Photoshop, you have the ability to magic wand click on something. This is the magic wand option. You can click, oh, sorry about that, wrong layer. You can click here, cut out like the background, and it'll be a clean cut all the way. Photopea is less so I have to go back and actually kind of re-ink or finagle some of the sides myself. So that took about a couple hours, roughly an hour without any distractions and interactions. I live all by myself. I'm so alone. I need friends. Subscribe. I'm truly a YouTuber. Okay. So yeah, I had to separate it there, but at the same time, I can't easily go in and do the same kind of copy the white filler, repaste it, and then do it all over again. So I have to do it the old way again. So yeah, so what I'll do is, first off, I'll deselect all this. Go here to the color catcher, or the eyedropper tool as it's called. Click on the skin color I want. We're going to, maybe we should do something wholesome. Just do her tail first before I get into the boobage. Okay, get rid of the reference image. And then I have to go in and... See, if I use the magic wand, as they call it, or the select wand, I can fill up this area, but you see it doesn't exactly connect to the lines all the way, so there is no bleed through. So I go here with the polygon lasso, select, and click on this second option, which only adds to a pre-existing polygon lasso, and just fill that up. I mean, connect it a little bit for a bit of a bleed through. Forgive my communication skills. I'm not the best here. So I'm going to be doing that throughout here. Oops, I forgot to get rid of some scales here. Yeah, might as well do it. Yeah, no biggie. I can come back to that later. So, hold on. Fit to area, zoom out. Yeah, I might as well just go ahead and magic tool or select most of these. Okay, we'll start coloring her tail before we get to the more risque stuff. Let's see here. Do you get some inspiration for your sexy lady drawings from Heavy Metal magazine, Raph? To be honest, though, I'm familiar with Heavy Metal through the movie, but I never really read it. Oopsie. Never really read it. So although there are definitely some fetching artwork in it, and I know the animated movie definitely kind of played into the sex and violence and rock and roll quite a bit. But no, I think the love of Monster Girls is just an unfortunate by effect of recording every episode of Sailor Moon for me and my brothers back when it was airing. It's like everyone else had crushes on all the sailor girls. I was like, ooh, what kind of sexy monster girl are we going to have tonight? So, and I was the oldest brother, so of course I was in that time. So, bum. There was a lot of good-looking monster girls in Sailor Moon. So, but unlike Power Rangers or Super Sentai, those are definitely characters that don't make return engagements. So, all right, dun. And of course, my mind rotted on 90s and 80s anime, so it was impossible to escape that. But yeah, this isn't gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this video as wholesome as possible. All right, bum. So, I saw the best tugboat movie ever made. Oh yeah, Sailor Jupiter is awesome. She's probably one of the best characters in the whole series. So, and I know my youngest. Well, I'm not going to say it, but it's like a friend. Yeah, one of my brothers still has a big crush on that character. It's like if I had to pick a Sailor Scout, it would definitely be Sailor Venus, because there's something about intelligent blonde gals. But at the same time, these are like teenagers in an animated series, so no, I'll stick with the older monster ladies. God damn it, this is going to be used against me later, is it? Sir, why did you draw a giant sexy minotaur lady with blue skin all over Mount Rushmore? Oh, I really like that episode of Sailor Moon. Her name's Minotauron. No one cares. Oopsie doozy. Raph was sentenced to 800 years hard labor. I'd do it again, damn it. So, oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be a little monotonous, but I went to see Godzilla -1 last night. Previously was going to be called Godzilla -0, but I guess they changed the title for the better. Because -1 does roll off the tongue a little bit, whereas -0, nothing wrong with that. But there is like a big problem. It leaves a lot of people confused. So, but at the same time, yeah, no movie title is perfect, especially when you're in a long-going franchise. You want to differentiate yourself from all the other previous movies. Differentiate. I hope I'm saying that correct. If not, then, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I went to go see it last night. It was sort of a surprise Christmas gift from my friends Louis and Adriana. Yeah, they originally, I thought they were just going to take me out to get some burgers from Carl's Jr. And I thought we were just going to come back home and watch a movie. And I had a couple movies planned out. I really want to show them I was going to show them The Other Guy, which is a fantastic comedy from the 1990s, starring Dave Foley of Kids in the Hall fame. And I'll just say this. The Other Guy, it's not hard to come by. You might find like a fan upload on YouTube. Or you might be able... Actually, I might end up doing a live stream of it sometime next week. So we'll see what happens. But the best way I can describe The Other Guy is, imagine if Alfred Hitchcock made a thriller in the Pee-wee's Big Adventure universe. So, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because it is a very funny film about mistaken identity and crime and a man on the lam. But it has the same kind of wonderful absurdity you expect out of something like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Or even movies like, not exactly Airplane, but, a movie that's silly in the context of its own universe as opposed to just a complete spoof film. So, there's probably other examples. And maybe like some of the Marx Brother movies would have also come to mind. But no, enough about The Other Guy. No, The Wrong Guy, not The Other Guys. The name of the movie is called The Wrong Guy from 1997, I believe. But yeah, it's a very good movie. And if possible, I might play the trailer at the end of this stream, just to let you guys know. But I highly recommend it. And if not, maybe I'll do it as a live stream for later this month on my Twitch channel. God bless Twitch for the time being. So, unless of course you're playing Jurassic Park, that's a bad idea. Completely destroy your channel over just some dumb John Williams music. Okay, so Juggler says, I've yet to see -1, as I've been keeping myself in dark about it as much as possible. Okay, so I'll be as good as possible about not giving you spoilers. But if I do get into spoilers, then you got like go out and make yourself a sandwich. Okay, I'm gonna go here to edit with fill. Oh, that was stupid of me. I didn't make a separate layer for the colors. That would have been a bad idea. Okay, rename that to character colors, because I like to keep the background patterns and colors separate from the main character. Alright, it's on multiply, so meaning we'll be able to see through it. And the opacity is 100%, the fill is 100%. Okay, I'm going to go to edit here with the fill tool. And boom, her tail is filled. That sounded wrong. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to do her fins. Like I said, I'll do the more questionable stuff at the end. Bum. Okay, go back to the main inks. Use the lasso tool. I mean the select one. Okay. What else? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Little arm fins here. Get on with it. We want to hear -1. You will. Oh, what happened here? Okay, I made a little boo-boo. Hold on. Gotta reselect those. Okay, now comes the monotonous part. Yes, Goji Shay and Jugless Juggler says they'll be seeing -1 this weekend. I do highly recommend it. I will say this right off the top of the bat. I was honestly surprised how good it was. Now, granted, I will say this. I judge movies a lot better if I revisit them a second or third time. Because I think it's like a little kid who's introducing a movie for the first time. It's like you're wrapped up with the just introduction and shock and awe of just what this film has to offer the first time around, that you don't really notice any major flaws until maybe it's over. There are tons of movies that I was really digging and grooving to, but either kind of ruined itself in its third act or ended on a somewhat unsatisfying conclusion. Hold on, I'm going to cough again. Oh yeah, I'm going to be editing this video out. Sorry about the mute areas, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Again. Oh yeah, I might actually cancel this weekend. All right. Thank you for being patient with me. This isn't exactly the most thrilling live stream in the universe. Okay, so yeah, it takes me a while to like actually gauge a movie on its own merits completely without being just kind of amazed and wonderfied the first time watching it. But it's also rare for me to go into a movie because I have gotten to a point where I'm getting older and a lot more jaded and critical, and it's even hard. And as such, I've become a little less forgiving of movies. Like, granted, when I see a movie for the first time, I'll still be amazed because, hey, I'm watching a movie and it's brand new to me and I don't know what's going on. Even if I know spoilers ahead of time, to actually see it play out before me is totally different. Especially since a lot of people do a terrible job explaining a movie and the way it's executed. You know, it's like there's a lot of people out there who kind of misquoted or misremembered Shin Godzilla in such a way that I was expecting a much more cynical and nastier movie than what we actually did get. But anyways, yeah, so my friend Lewis and Adriana, we went to have dinner at Carl's Jr. It was a very nice Carl's Jr. off in Redondo Beach. Like one of the few fast food restaurants in my area where you can actually sit down and have a decent meal and be totally okay with the surrounding atmosphere. No doubt they're going to bulldoze it and replace that location with something crappy. But, no, we had a fun time there. Got to use some coupons. So, yeah, it was a little cheaper than usual. I don't mind using coupons, I'll say it. We get some good coupons in this neighborhood. And then suddenly, instead of going home to watch The Wrong Guy, they took me to the AMC theater, and it's like, guys, what are you doing? It's like, aren't we going home, or are we going to do errands or something? And then Lewis, and he does this a lot as a joke. He turned around and pulled out some tickets and says, "Surprise, mother funker, we're taking to see the Godzilla movie." So all three of us went to see the Godzilla movie. It was sort of their early Christmas gift to me, and I deeply appreciated it. So already I kind of had my blinders on as far as just being excited to go. It was very sweet of them to do that. And I'm going to see the movie again this weekend with my other friends, Mark and Cammy. So, um, but yeah, so we went to see the movie, and I'm honestly surprised. It's like, yeah, there's some minor nitpicks here and there, but they're so minor that I might not even mention them either in the spoiler section or just in general. But it's a surprisingly good movie. Like it's a Godzilla movie. It's a good Godzilla movie, but even without Godzilla, it's a well actually, I think if it was like a period drama, I don't think it would really hold up on its own. But because it is sort of an alternate history story where what if Godzilla attacked Japan like less than a couple of years after World War II ended? As an alternate history adventure drama, I think the best way I can describe it, it's surprisingly good. Very, very good. This is the kind of Godzilla movie that might actually play well with mainstream audiences. Oh, hold on. Wow. I might have to cancel with Mark and Cammates. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it would probably be the kind of Godzilla movie that would be really fun to introduce to people who are willing to give Godzilla a chance but have never seen a Godzilla movie. And I know I did similar watches like that with the Millennium era Godzilla movies. Because films like Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, GMK, and Final Wars are definitely crowd pleasers. If you go in beforehand knowing the caveat that they're all standalone stories that exist in their own little worlds, unconnected to all the previous other Godzilla movies. Bum. Hold on. Minus one is very similar in that regard. That this is another Godzilla movie that stands on its own. I don't mind that at all. It's cool to see a bit of a not really experimentation, but it is nice to play around with the formula in these ways, as opposed to other movie franchises where you have to stick to the continuity completely. And then when you do and make actual mistakes with said continuity, it just becomes more infuriating. You know, I'm a big fan of anthology stories, so I don't mind if they play around with the settings and characters every movie. But for what this was a very engaging. It's not a full-on drama. There are definitely emotional parts. It's sincere. I think I should say that it's very sincere. It's character-driven, but you like the characters enough that you're never bored when there are no monsters around. And then when the monsters are around, it's definitely a showstopper. So I think had it been isolated, the two halves, this sort of period piece, light drama, and the giant monster horror, I don't think the movie would have worked very well. But because it's hey, you got your chocolate my peanut butter, hey, you got your peanut butter my chocolate situation, a film storytelling, I think it works beautifully well. And it's also cool to get back to a smaller version of Godzilla as opposed to like the ridiculous cinematic arms race of how big can we make Godzilla before it gets ridiculous. And I think, and sadly, that Godzilla anime trilogy on Netflix wasn't exactly very well loved, so I don't think anybody noticed that there's a Godzilla out there who's at least like 900 feet tall or 9,000 feet tall. How big was that Godzilla Earth character supposed to be? Goji Shea says, it's all good, you got a cough, thank you very much. But yeah, Godzilla minus one was surprisingly good, so much so that I immediately recommended it to a friend who kind of fell out of love with the Godzilla franchise, who will remain nameless. Cough, cough, Brayton. And he was shocked at how good it was. And even Lewis, who doesn't really like monster movies where there's too much human talking, like I showed him Godzilla vs. Sea Monster and Them, two movies I actually like quite a bit, but he kind of found them a little boring. And granted, as awesome as those giant ants are, if you're not one for the human sequences, you're not one for the human sequences. So, hold on. Another cough spell coming up. Oh my goodness. Raph's not doing well today. um, but yeah, Lewis, who usually doesn't like talkative human scenes in his monster movies, and granted, I can see where that kind of comes in. You're expecting a balls to the walls monster action movie, and sadly, a lot of the mainstream Godzilla and other giant monster movies don't exactly deliver in that regard. I've come to appreciate Godzilla 2014 for what it is, but at the same time, yeah, at least give us one brief fight scene when Godzilla first appears. It feels too much like a cop out. And I know they were trying to go for a Jaws like formula, but I think it really was just kind of I think it was just more annoying than clever. Thankfully, Godzilla minus one does. It feels like they took a lot of the criticisms of Godzilla 2014 and Shin Godzilla, mixed it with the unique setting of being a period piece different from anything we've seen before, because this is the late 40s from 1945 to 1947. So this is well before Godzilla made his full-on appearance in 1954, even knowing, like I said, this movie stands on its own. So it is definitely a unique period in history that has never really been done in a Japanese monster movie before. Although Toho did do a lot of World War II based movies during the wartime, unfortunately, and also well after in the late 60s and throughout the 70s. Toho may not have been on top of kaiju films throughout the 70s and even the early 80s, but they were still doing like major historical pieces and disaster movies. So the special effects department was still working at that time. And of course, that kind of boom of historical and disaster based science fiction films would lead to the Return of Godzilla podcast, which you can actually listen on my channel. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend seeing Godzilla minus one, especially before it leaves theaters. I think on Monday, after Monday. Although from what I understand, they might actually kind of extend the theater showings for a little bit. Now, I was really hoping to catch Godzilla in a good theater, but unfortunately, it was a smaller theater, number three, and I think the main reason was the Beyonce film is coming out, the live stage film. That would probably explain why the large audience seemed to be a mix. Like there was a lot of people in the lobby who were dressed in really nice, beautiful clothes for the night, like they were going to an actual concert, complete with the shiny capes and cows, so to speak. And it's like, oh, that's right, Beyonce's live concert film is airing over the weekend. So yeah, there's a good chance that if you go see Godzilla minus one, it might be pushed into a smaller theater as opposed to a much more decent, bigger theater. And it's sad too because there was like theater number one at my local AMC down at South Bay Galleria. It has a really good, massive auditorium sized theaters, but they were using those theaters last night to show the Marvels movie. I'll admit it, I almost snuck in and watched the Marvel movie, Marvels after I saw Godzilla minus one, but I was the only one in this massive theater. I, and it's like, do I really want to, take a late night walk watching this movie all by myself, feeling weird? It's like it's already suspect that I kind of snuck in. So it's going to be even more suspect. It's like, hey, no one's watching the Marvels. Why is this one guy here? So I decided, screw it, I'll just take the bus and go home a little early. So, at that point, Lewis and Adrian decided to leave early. So, yeah, we decided to do that instead. And I was just going to find my own way home since they know that I sometimes like to go in the theaters. But no, it worked out okay. And thankfully, it was a very nice bus that I took the ride back home. So, what was I saying? Yeah, whatever. Rambling on. I'm sick and I'm rambling. Okay, I think I have all her fins filled. So I'm going to fill up the color. There you go. All right, there you go. Okay, next we're going to do... let's do her hair next. Sad thing about this picture is I got to do a lot of effects work on the shininess of her hair. And it's actually become something I'm not so excited doing anymore. It was a lot easier with Photoshop. With Photopea, you really have to go in there and do all this yourself. So, okay. Boop, 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 boop. And, I think one of her eyebrows are purple. I think it makes more sense to have Godzilla appear a lot more sooner than after the bombing happens. Oh, yeah, you definitely... Like, Godzilla's not in the movie as often... and I know there'll probably be a lot of complaints about, oh yeah, we made a fan edit where, where it's just all the Godzilla scenes, and it's probably going to be a measly 10 minutes. And it is unfortunate. There's a lot of Godzilla movies where Godzilla is barely in it. It's like I know Godzilla doesn't really appear to save the day like until like the second or third act of Godzilla vs. Megalon, but when he shows up and he sticks around. Oh, hold on again. Okay, there. I'm back. Jesus Christ. You know what's the one thing that really sucks about being sick? And it's like when you wake up, your body is in a form of suspended animation. So you feel great when you wake up. But then once your body starts to go back into the motion, the gears start to move again and the machine warms up, so to speak. Then you find out how sick you actually are. Now, I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but for the majority of people, it's a good idea to wait like at least an hour or two after you wake up to see how you're feeling before you jump to any conclusions. And sadly, I made the terrible mistake again, thinking that everything was going to be okay. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling much better. I am a lot better than I was a couple of days ago. But yeah, this is ridiculous. I guess this is the morning clean out, so to speak. God damn it. Now I'm going to lose more subscribers. Big apologies to everybody. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I think it makes more sense to have Godzilla appear. Yeah. So, yeah, no, you do get quite a bit of Godzilla. And not to go into spoilers, but this is definitely one of the... I don't want to call him the most evil version of Godzilla, but this is definitely one of the most antagonistic and just outright mean-spirited Godzillas out there. This is, like... even though I have a preference for hero Godzilla, or kind of misunderstood anti-hero Godzilla... something I think the Millennium era films did really good on the latter, and of course the Showa films from the 1960s and 70s did a really good job on the former. There's a couple of Godzillas out there who I don't want to call 100% evil, because there is a couple of Godzillas who definitely matches that, like the GMK Godzilla and maybe arguably Godzilla Earth. But there are definitely Godzillas out there that are just rage-induced or disaster beings, if you will. Beings who bring about great disaster. Either because they don't mean to, or they're just generally that pissed off. But yeah, this is an angry Godzilla, and the design works beautifully. Like, granted, I know there's been a complaint that it looks a little too much like the legendary Godzilla. Although I think it's kind of a nice, a thinner, leaner version of what the legendary Godzilla is, while still not abandoning the fatness of Godzilla, so to speak. But yeah, some of the other ideas, like making his skin look a lot more nastier than other versions of Godzilla, not as bad as Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is definitely the winner for most grotesque looking Godzilla. But yeah, this guy looks like he looks like an action hero who's barely survived a fire attack and now has become a Batman villain. Especially with those wonderful eyes they gave Godzilla. And this is definitely, as much as I love Suitmation and as much as I'd love to see a return to Suitmation based Godzilla in a film proper, maybe we might, next time we get like a Godzilla anniversary, maybe we'll get like a compilation film of all the short films done so far. That would be really great. But with that said, yeah, this is definitely a case where going with CGI for Godzilla works beautifully. And I know the director of the film has his own effects company, and he's been working on it for decades. Not this movie, but just effects films in general. So thankfully, everything came together, and Toho, in its wisdom, gave this movie plenty of time to cook with pre-production, because there are a lot of horror stories about Japanese films being made in less than a year, from writing to all the way down to editing. As opposed to a lot of other movies that might have like a longer period of gestation of 3 years or more, or a lot more. There's a lot of films that have been in development hell or pre-production hell, if you will. Um, but yeah, no, I think going with the CGI in the film is fairly strong. There are some wonky moments here and there. And I was a little closer to the screen. Me, Lewis, and Andrea, we were a lot closer to the screen than we wanted to. But yeah, it worked out really, really well. A lot of the special effects sequences. Yeah, sometimes Godzilla's a little on the janky side. It's sort of like how sometimes in the legendary Godzilla films, Godzilla will move wonderfully smoothly, and you can believe that this is a massive creature moving at a realistic pace. But then other times there are moments where the monsters are moving too fast, and you do get a bit of a, as Double Toasted, that wonderful series on YouTube recently did in their own review of the movie. At times Godzilla moves like RoboCop at times. So, but for the most part, the special effects is very strong. And if Yamazaki, the director, I hope I got his last name right, if he decides to follow up this movie, either with a direct sequel, which is a little more likely than what we got with Shin Godzilla, I'll just say that. I wouldn't mind seeing what they can do with it. So especially if you can effectively do period pieces on relatively small scales. Pun not intended. So, but yeah, I highly recommend Godzilla Minus One. It is Friday morning at the time of this live stream. So go out and check it out. It's playing at multiple theaters across the nation at least 3 times a day, in theaters as widespread as Regal and AMC. I don't know if it's a Fathom event or if Toho somehow found a way to work with movie distribution directly. The subtitles were really good. They were all on point. And I really hope that when the movie does get a home video release, it's done through a reliable company and we see a decent English dub for it, because I really would like to introduce this movie to people who can't read or are unwilling to read subtitles, but still need at least a decent English track to go along with it. Like, say what you will about English dubbing, but if the dubbing is at least well performed and not completely too far removed from what was said in the original Japanese dialogue, then yeah, it's a great way to introduce little kids and people who might have the inability to read subtitles. So Toho's releasing it themselves. Well, then Toho did a really good job. Okay, according to Jugless Juggler, that's what he just said. But yeah, really good job on that, Toho. So it's so funny. We were mentioning Legend of the Dinosaurs earlier, and apparently that movie back in 1977. Hold on, let me fill out her hair and save this picture. Okay, we got her hair done. Let me save the picture so the work we've done so far isn't too bad. Okay, there's the first saving, and then I like to save it as a backup because sometimes these Photoshop or PSD files might get corrupted, so it's always good to have a backup, even if you have the cloud or a OneDrive protecting you. Okay, and there we go. So what else do we have to... Okay, now we're going to get into the risque parts. I'm going to have to do her skin now. And that means, uh-oh, the problem areas. Bung. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Huge apologies. Okay. That sort of Benny Hill humor doesn't fly too much, so I'll try my best to stay away from it, but know that I'm all talk and no threat. God damn it, this sounds so terrible. Oh, bum, 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 bum. Okay, why not? Oh, yeah, we gotta do these two guys. Select one, select one, select one. And now I go in and expand the selections so that when I fill out the color, it will definitely do a much more healthier bleed through than what we got here. So, and by doing the colors and making the layer for gradient will be a lot easier to do too. So, all this prep work makes everything much easier down the line. Okay, but yeah, no, it's funny. Getting back, Legend of Dinosaurs was sort of this kind of infamous misfire. I don't know how bad of a flop it was, but Toy Studios made this relatively big budget plesiosaur on a murder spree lake movie, which was basically Jaws with dinosaurs in it, even though in that it was sort of a late 70s take on the kaiju films, but with like the sort of sex and violence turned up a little bit more than usual, because it was the late 70s and that was sort of the bag for a lot of Japanese films at the time. It was expected too. But Legend of Dinosaurs, it's a unique film in its own right, but it definitely is a misfire. And apparently the movie was given a big international push, but I guess it didn't really go far outside of being one of the few first, if not the first, Japanese monster movie to get a widespread release in Russia. And I do know that there's sort of a weird alternate edit version from Italy for Legend of the Dinosaurs. It is all but lost, minus a couple of surviving VHS recordings, which changes the music and even some of the story beats through editing. But yeah, that was a movie that was impossible to try to get into international audiences, and for a long time, Tugboat Productions, the creators of Ultraman and their Ultraman franchise in turn, tried to get Ultraman big in English-speaking territories to little to no success. There were little victories here and there, but for the most part, when you're premiering your big anniversary Mega Monster Galaxy, Ultra Galaxy movie at a Californian-based convention in one of the back rooms, then yeah, you're not exactly doing well. And now look at us. We're in the time where Toho can release these monster movies on the big screen directly. Ultraman is so ridiculously readily available that I can point you to several streaming websites where it's free. And both Tugboat Productions and Toho, to a slightly lesser regard, know that they have enough fans in America to make simulcasts and American available versions less than a few weeks, if not at the same live time as they're premiering in Japan. Which reminds me, we got a new episode of Ultraman Blazar coming in later today, so that's going to be awesome. What monster are they fighting today? Oh yeah, like a weird insect monster in the farmland. Okay. Don't know if I'll be able to catch it in time, but it'll definitely be something to watch with. Isn't it great? Godzilla -1 turned out to be a big success. Gamera came back, regardless how you feel that series. But hey, it's Gamera. Nothing wrong with Gamera. And Ultraman Blazar continues to impress. Like, if you've never seen an Ultraman show, Blazar might be a really good entry point to it. But yeah, so far everything's been going very well. I don't know why there's so much noises coming through. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. There's some work to be done later. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be here until like probably another hour at the very latest. If not, I will stop this stream in a half an hour. So you have questions for me, by all means, ask away. Because I hopefully, Jugless Juggler, I did my best not spoiling anything. And I would love to spoil things, but for the most part, I'm going to, And I don't mind spoilers, honestly. Like, it doesn't affect me personally, but I know it can definitely hamper the fun of other people. So I will definitely not be going to a spoiler section. But if you guys have any random questions for me, by all means, go ahead and ask. So, and also I might have to consider doing more. Like, first off, I got to advertise these live streams ahead of time. That's why there's going to be the Ask Me Anything coming on Tuesday. And I'm going to try to do that as early as possible. And I don't know if I'll be doing artwork for Miss Galia here. Galia Theodora, that's her name. I've been saying it wrong. Galia. Okay, Galia. Okay, there we go. That's how you're supposed to say it. Do 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 do. Coming close to the you know what's. Yeah, I think it's safe to say Sailor Moon and all its monster girls of the week really screwed me up as an individual. Oh dear. That's a whole terrible video for another day. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Oh, you did a good job so far, says Drugless Juggler. Awesome. It at least had a fun theme song, says Goji Shay on Legend of Dinosaurs. Indeed. I was almost tempted to play some Legend of Dinosaur music today, but no. Oh, crap. I should have done this weird little intersection between her tail and her stomach, which this is all organic. This isn't a belt she's wearing, which means she's still kind of nude underneath. Like the Little Mermaid. Not so wholesome, is it now? I don't like the Disney remakes for multiple reasons, although I did have a very good time with the Cruella de Vil re-envisioning, so to speak. But I gotta watch that movie again and actually take notes on why I think that one works and the other remakes did not. I did not enjoy the Christopher Robin movie because I thought maybe Pooh Bear and his fellow 100 Acre Woods characters were a little too absent-minded in that one. It definitely ruined the charm of those otherwise classic charming characters. But yeah, I keep hearing conflicting reports about the Little Mermaid remake. Some people say it's actually good for what it is. Other people says it sucks. But let's be honest, a lot of these live-action Disney remakes are really just there to get more money for properties that may have been past their sell-by dates since nobody likes 2D animation anymore. Or people feel embarrassed watching animated films. You know what would be really terrifying if, like, give it a decade or two, they start remaking the Disney animated movies again. But instead of live action, they do it as 3D CGI. So, okay, forgive me. I'm just going to get this out of the way. If there was an easier way, I'd do it. So, there's probably 5 people watching right now. Hey. Okay, I'll be reading that question in a moment. Let me just get the embarrassing bit here out of the way. Okay, there. Cleavage line avoided. Side boob next. Okay, so Goji Shay says, do you think Toho may do another Godzilla movie with other classic monsters again in the future? That's the desire, I think. It's like we've had like two pretty good, one pretty good Godzilla by himself Rampage movies. And unfortunately, though, and there's the Godzilla anime trilogy, but those films were so Godzilla-centric that the introduction of other monsters were so minor that it really doesn't matter. Like, I know we had Mechagodzilla City and interdimensional Cthulhian King Ghidorah, but ultimately those characters felt so minor to the main conflict against Godzilla and his lesser size clone in the first movie that, yeah, it feels like the introduction of other monsters really don't matter anymore. And I know that we definitely have been seeing a lot of the classic Toho monsters in spin-off media, the comic books, Godzilla, which is a kid's show, but it's nice that they do a lot of deep cuts with the various characters they revisit or introduce, and as well as the live action Godzilla short films too, which are greatly appreciated. But as far as like a big budget movie to actually feature a battle between Godzilla and another classic Toho monster, the desire from me would be it would be very nice to see that happen again. And I know a lot of the CGI models for Godzilla were repurposed, or at least prototyped, if you will, in a Godzilla the Ride movie, which also featured King Ghidorah and Rodan, and a pretty decent version of King Ghidorah too. And I know that there was also a CGI ride that featured Shin Godzilla versus Neon Genesis Evangelion, which also featured its own arguably better version of King Ghidorah, separate from the ride version. So yeah, it would be nice to see another big monster battle, but at the same time, my jaded self, my cynical self says that animating two monsters going at it, fighting wise, of course, might be a little more difficult to do. So having Godzilla just go on the rampage against regular cities and vehicles and people would probably be the easier route to go. And also, but we'll see what happens. The possibility of monster battles is not out of the future. It's like I really did enjoy Singular Point a lot, but I can also see how that series doesn't exactly appeal to mainstream audiences due to some of a lot of the pseudoscience going on. And also because it's another one where you want to see Godzilla, and while there are plenty of monsters throughout the series, and there are some actual good fight scenes here and there, it's not exactly what people are wanting out of a Godzilla movie. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a direct follow-up with Minus One, which kind of takes place in the 1950s, and maybe repurpose Rodan for that one and finally give us a proper Godzilla versus Rodan movie. Or, if they decide to do another standalone Godzilla movie, let's do maybe an action comedy with Godzilla against another monster and our human characters either caught in the middle or trying their best to help one side or the other. So, but we'll see what happens. And it's also nice that Godzilla is not completely separated from the world of animation, because even though in that Gamera anime had a lot of problems, it was still appreciated to see what could be done in the realm of animation. As the same thing with Singular Point, you're able to get away with things that you can't really do in a live action movie. And while animation is definitely not as low budget as originally imagined, especially after the pandemic ended, so to speak, and then producers and networks realized, oh, this animation thing was fine when nobody could meet in person, but now that we're back to a somewhat functioning level of entertainment industry filming, yeah, there's no way we can keep this animation up when we can do a lot cheaper through reality television and scripted dramas, especially with the reality television. Bum. So yeah, we'll be catching this. Okay, we're reconnected. Everything's okay. We're reconnected. We were unconnected there for a moment. Juggler says, I'm probably going to head out for the day. Until next time, everyone, take easy and be excellent. Stay golden. I will, Juggler. Remember, we're having a live watch of Horror of Dracula on my Twitch channel, which you can find in the description below. It's Enshohma Lives on Twitch this Monday night. So if you want to join us there, by all means do so. Oh god, we're almost done with her. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a hiccup burp. Aye. Okay. And then Goji Shea says, it really bugs me how people don't seem to like 2D animated movies anymore. That they still act like they're embarrassed to watch animation, period. Granted, it also doesn't help that a lot of the studios make it almost impossible to engage on animation for multiple reasons as well. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much, Juggler, for joining us. We hopefully will see you again. I'll try to do another stream. I'll try and announce another stream ahead of time. I know we're going to be doing something on Tuesday. And hopefully I can try to do it even earlier still to get more people in. I'm almost done with her. I just gotta finish off the face. Oh yeah, and some of the little side fins here. Okay, we're still good. So, Goji Shay, I'm all yours. And if anybody else shows up, by all means ask questions. Although, again, there's Tuesday. So, this was just an impromptu one that I just wanted to do very quickly. I'm not going to do any spoilers for Godzilla -1, but you know how Shin Godzilla made a big joke about bullet trains? I think we'll be seeing a lot of jokes about tugboats for this one. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, I think I'm going to log off like roughly 30 minutes from now. So around 8:15, we're going to call it quits. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on Godzilla Singular Point as quick as possible. Oh yeah, we're almost done with her. Okay, problem area, not that big of a problem. I've done way worse. That's the thing, Raph. You shouldn't be doing this in general. The people wanted this. They wanted this, damn it. Ah. Okay, we got the color there. Now, there's a slight pattern to her skin, but I think I'm going to hold that off in a separate layer. So now that we got her skin done, I'm going to have to do the bra. Actually, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and do this little belt area here. But I might as well do the bra while I'm here. And the great thing is that I've done so much prep work on the colors that I can cheat a little bit on the bra. Check this out. Not the boobs, what I'm about to do. I'm sorry, if there's little kids watching, I deeply apologize. Okay. So I'm just going to do these big, round selections. And since we already have the area around the seashells colored, I'm going to take the disconnect option on the subtract, because there's 4 options with the selection wand. There is replace, which you just click and fill up the whole thing. There's unite, which was what I've been doing most of the time, adding on to pre-existing selections. Subtract, which I'm about to share with you. And intersect. Intersect is very helpful, but subtract, I get to do this. I click on the color portions are already done. Bada ding. Bada doom. Okay, and then I go back with the regular lasso 2, subtract some of the other areas here. Oh, hold on, let me finagle this little area here since it's a little too close to the white. I try to find a middle ground between the two colors as much as possible. But yeah, half my work is already done. Practically all my work. Alright, and we already have the pink color. We're on the character colors. Going to the fill on edit, the fill option. Alright, so yeah, that's taken care of. I can do the same thing on the eyebrows. How did I do the eyebrows here? Okay, she has kind of purple eyebrows going on, so I'll just do that very quickly. And when I do the gradients, I can do the color blackening effect here. Here's something that's funny. Even when you complete artwork and you sit on it for months, weeks, days, hours, weeks, months, years, and you go back and revisit it, you're always going to find one little problem. Like, look at that. I did not completely fill in the gradients with this original picture of Galia. Darn it. So, but I'm not going to go back and redo it for something so minor and minuscule. You know, the great thing is, for a while, I was very insecure with my own artwork. And granted, I'm not the best artist out there. I do good stuff, you know. And I'm getting faster and more reliable on my commissions as well, so. But, with that said, yeah. I've seen plenty of actual artwork from like the major comic book artists out there, like comic book panels and inks. And it's amazing a lot of the little flaws that you don't notice if you were reading the heavily cleaned up or slightly altered comic book versions of it. Because there was a time where my friend Adam had a bunch of comic book panels he wanted to sell, and I used to do a lot of conventions with Mark. So we were able to see a lot of these professional comic book artists work up close with our own eyes. And even like the really good ones out there, I'm not going to name names, but they're still all talented people, one and all. Yeah, their stuff is not 100% perfect, and you can see little flaws. So it kind of filled me with a little more hope. Just, do your best, see what you can do, bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, so I'm just going to quickly go around and just kind of expand the eyebrows a little bit. But now I don't have to be 100% perfect about it because most of the work has already been done. Do. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and just fill up by hand right there. And I'm going to do the same over here. Actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. So yeah, I'll do the same here, but I don't need to extend it because I can go back to the selection tool. Click on just, yeah, regular selection. This is the one I used all the big circular ellipses earlier. And just move it around a little bit like that. And that's how I just widen my space. So I go over it another time. And go over it one more time. Just move it a little bit here. Oh, that's what all the noises are. Yeah, it's very windy today. So I thought somebody kept coming back in and out. That's just my door opening again. So, and boom, I have a lot more surface area than before. So, oh, and that's okay. Some of little bits like this don't matter because they'll be covered up with the line work. So, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I just realized, yeah, there's this pattern to her skin with the fins and all that, but it's also kind of, like I said, I'm terrible at communicating. So I'm doing my best here to educate you best I can. Thankfully, you have these visual reminders. But yeah, all the lines are isolated from the face. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go here and add the green to her head, to her nose region and forehead. So, okay, again, I'll use the magic lasso. There we go. And then I will quickly subtract and cut off on the regions here. Things are getting a lot more faster now that I've done the prep work. I wish I could play some music right now. I'm going to have to find some public domain. Hey, that's a good idea. There's a lot of like copyright-free public domain music on YouTube. Maybe in the future I should just go ahead and do an art stream where I'm going through everything and just seeing which of those songs I actually like. I know there's one song I really like that sadly should have been a kind of a popular hit in its own right, but that's a whole different story for another time. Oopsie. Didn't mean to do that. Go back. I can go back. If I make a mistake, I can easily go back here. Okay, click on you. Click on you. Alright. Yeah, I'll add the darker green. That way I can just come back to it later. Okay, there we go. Might as well do her eyes while I'm here. Okay, just simple white. Take the white. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I can subtract, so I don't need to save some time. Oopsie. Didn't want to do that. Hold on. This is the boring portion. Yeah, I think after I'm done with the eyes, I might call it quits. Okay. So, in white. Okay. And we will do the same here. Bum, bum, bum. Right. Go back to the selection. Subtract. Cut that off a bit. Okay, white colors. All right. Let me do this little tail here. Maybe I should do that as a separate color. Oh, wait. Yeah, I forgot about the headband right here. Might as well take care of that before I forget. Hey, I'm actually going to get her fully colored. Then I can save the gradients for maybe Tuesday. Yeah, she's not very... This, other than the fact that this is gift artwork for both my fans on DeviantArt and for Veil City, it's not that important of a project. So I can definitely take some time and do this one whenever I want to. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, we got no questions. That's all right. Everyone's probably at work. It is Friday. God bless Friday, I guess. Oh. Oopsie doozy. Okay. Oh. Okay, that's what I probably screwed up on. Okay. All right, hold on. Yeah, sometimes the selection isn't one for one. Although I should save it because sometimes the program gets a little janky and it freezes up and you're not allowed to do any extra changes. So yeah, let me save it twice on the two separate files. Okay, subtract on the color. And then I will just go back and disconnect it from the hair here. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll just widen it here. So, yeah. I'll make it match her bikini top. I have an unfortunate habit where colors on outfits have to match. Even though in real life you can easily just put any color to anything, and usually nobody really cares unless it's really garish. But as far as artwork goes, it's sort of an unfortunate habit, pet peeve of mine. And possibly a weakness too, if you will. Nope. Oh. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me get rid of the inks. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I should take care of that. I gotta take care of that before I forget. All right. The little organic belt here. Although I think this time it's going to be I don't know. I think I'll do as a slightly darker color than what's presented around her. Not the same as her fins. So that way in the future I can decide whether or not I want to keep it the exact same color as the rest of her tail or keep it separate. So I'm almost tempted to do it as its own belt too, but no. Oh. Darn it. Okay, let's do it this way. Alright, selection tool. Going a little overboard. There's a much looser version of the selection tool, which is a lot better than the kind of clicking, but it's terrible if you want to try to get into the lines here, especially if you don't have a steady hand like me. Oh, like that. So, alright, go back to subtract with the wand. Alright. Okay. And I said I wanted a slightly different color for her belt this time. So I think we'll go a little darker. And we'll see how that goes. Well, that works a little bit. Okay. I could have just did the fill option, but I just felt like doing something a little different here. Oh. Okay, go back to the slightly more reliable point and click. I just want to extend these a little bit too. I don't have to. It's within the line, but I just felt like being a bit of a stickler here. Oh, made a mistake there. Hold on. This is the really boring part. I'm in the zone of drawing mermaids. Obscure mermaids from slightly questionable comic books made by my fellow artists that I know from DeviantART. Belly buttons are wholesome, right? No, they're not. The 1950s would kill you. It's amazing I Dream a Genie even exists. I don't know. I haven't seen my I Dream a Genie in ages, so that show might not be as risky outside the midriff as people make it out to be. But it was the 60s. Everything was, like, even by my silly comedy standards, everything was ridiculously too horny for that era. It's like the Adam West Batman series is really good, especially those first 2 seasons. But yeah, it gets a little outrageous with all the James Bond style girl characters that show up. Aren't you always a stickler though? Yeah, I am. Raffy's got wacky problems. Ooh. Yeah, there's no need for me to do this, but I kind of just want to make the line work a little more smooth. I'm not a perfectionist, but sometimes the little details do kind of just stare me in the face. I'm like, I gotta do this. Okay, like I said, we'll be ending this in roughly 15 minutes. So if you have any final questions, now the time is to ask them. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, as you can see here, I did that so there would be a little more connect between the 2 separate colors. But you can kind of see a gap between them here. And here as well. So sometimes I just do it just to kind of, get a more solid connecting of the color. Alright, I will pick this color again. Actually, I'm just going to make it quick. I'll do the fill. There you go. Actually, let me show you what I just did. So, oh, yeah, that's right. Sometimes when you go back, they... Okay, and now I'm going to look at this region right here. Fill. Okay. It's not perfect, but, And while I'm at it, I think I'll darken it a little bit because when the colors are too similar, the selection tool doesn't recognize it. So, yeah, let me see if I... See? It's practically the same color as the fins now. So I'm going to make it a little darker, alter it a little here. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I think she looks good that way. Sorry for blowing in the microphone. So, okay, good. I can still click on both, and it still recognizes them as separate colors. Okay. What else do we have to do? Oh, yeah, her pupils. Her pupils, I said. Okay, so what I like to do is when I do the coloring layer, I like to do the eyes as just one big effect here. So, and I'll show you what I mean. So first off, although I should do the eyes as its own layer, so that way, if I have to do adjustments to the colors, the eyes won't be affected. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's safer to do that than try to have it. Sorry that I'm blowing to the microphone. So, it might be a case where I might have to get myself new headphones. That's the problem. So, okay. Eye colors. All right, go back to multiply. Since there's such a little space, I can afford just to manually select polygon lasso these things. Go back to unite. That way I can do multiple ones without the other one disappearing. I'm surprised none of your cats have tried distracting you yet. They were up pretty late last night, and it's winter time, so they're in semi-hibernation right now. By the way, we have a 7th cat now. His name is Squire. He's a little baby cat. I'll try to film a video of him before he gets too big. But yeah, he was basically abandoned. Some lady randomly gave us a bag, and there was a little kitty inside. We had to clean him up, get rid of all the little ticks. He's a little sweetheart, but holy crap, he is scary when you feed him. I wouldn't be surprised if this cat was like some weird hybrid. Okay. Okay, so after I get the basic color for the lines done, I go back, I click with the eyedropper to get the color of the inner pupil there. Because this is the iris, that's the pupil. Even though I just called the whole thing just a pupil. Oh, no. The hand tool just helps me move around. Okay, get rid of the reference, just in case. Okay. Now, I take my round selector. Transform selection. So I just move it a little bit. So it matches this. And I think I'm going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to give the iris down here or above there a bit of an effect. So let's see which one looks a little better. I might just do one eye to save time. Yeah, but yeah, we got a 7th cat. And it's ironic too, because our other cats are way bigger than Squire, and yet for some reason they're terrified of Squire. It's like one of the cats who usually never sleeps up here has been sleeping on my couch the last few nights, because I'd rather prefer that than him. And it's Whiskers, the previous kitten that we have. So yeah, we got 7 cats now. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll find somebody to take Squire in, but as it stands, it's ridiculous. Okay. Hey, Warrior Keen. Goji Shay says, man, you're practically running a little zoo now. Yeah, but thankfully cats are so independent, and thankfully the kittens learn a lot from our dog Simka. So they use the backyard as their bathroom, or front yard, depending. And they're pretty communal and pleasant, and we were able to get them fixed and spayed and neutered at an early age. Although I think that's ultimately a myth, thinking that even if that cats will still act weird if you get them spayed later. So, but we got them early enough where that doesn't become an issue, hopefully. Even though, like I said, it's more of a myth by people who either can't afford it or just hate animals in general. Okay, so let's see what Warrior King has to say. Hi, Enshohma. I've been here the whole time, but I was in the middle of my morning routine when you started streaming. Sorry for not commenting sooner. Solid stream. I hope so, other than the fact that I've been, drawn sexy mermaids. And that I've been coughing half the time with the mute button on. And Warrior King says, congrats on the new planning, on the new kitten. Are you planning on starting a domesticated lion pride or something? Holy crap, I should take some video footage of Squire and show you just how scary he gets when he eats. Because that's a terrifying video its own right. Okay, so I have, yeah, her eyes are done. Okay. Boom, boom. I should have done an effect for the irises, but it's too late now. I can do that later. Okay. And I have it all on one layer. Yeah, see, there's something a lot nicer there. Maybe I can still get away with it. Hold on. Yeah, let's see if I can. Hey, Warrior King. Oh, yeah. Warrior King says, I'm glad to hear Godzilla Minus One turned out so well. Can't wait to see it for myself tomorrow at my local theater. Thanks for avoiding spoilers. Good on you, my friend. You're most welcome, Warrior King. And we're about to end the stream in roughly half an hour. I was going to do it in 15 minutes, but I think I'll stop it at 8:30 because I might have to do some groceries before it gets some groceries before the lunch crowd shows up. It is currently 8:08 on my end. So yeah, if you have any questions, Warrior Kings, now the time to ask them. And I will be as quick as possible. Okay. Click that. Oh. This doesn't have to be one for one. Okay. And uh-oh, I made a little mistake. That's okay, I can go back and fix it. Right, deselect. Yeah, it was a good thing I did the eyes on a separate layer. Okay, good man. I did good. Give myself a cookie. That's a good cookie. Who is your favorite Sailor Moon monster girl? It's Uno and Fluffy who likes to join in on your streams mostly, right? Yes. No. Uno and Fluffy. Okay, Fluffy is the cat who lives with me. She adores me. I love her back. But she's currently asleep. She's chosen a spot on a bunch of storage boxes in the kitchen. But I put a little blanket there and she's just enjoying herself, although she's closer to the door. And cats like to rotate different places where they like to sleep. Uno, she's the wild card. She sleeps in the backyard regardless. She's kind of special in that regard. Big quotation marks on special. She's not exactly the smartest. But the cat who lives with us is Radar. He used to be like a big garage cat. He's practically a twin with the so-called alpha of the 7 cats, Mohawk. But Radar is currently sleeping on my room on a bunch of pillows covered with another big thick blanket. So, yeah, those are the 2 cats that are living with me. Okay, yeah, check out the eyes. I'm going to be adding some little shine effects. Just compare and contrast. See, I'm going to be doing that now. And instead of doing pure white, I decided to go with a slight blue this time. So, yeah. And I'll be answering your question, Warrior King, in a little bit. Because there, yeah, I can. Oh. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I was going to do a little third one, but I decided not to. Erase that and repeat with the other eye. Oh, that looks beautiful. All right, and go back to number 12 here. Okay. And her eyes are done. Okay, so I'm not going to get their names totally correct, but I will just, so yeah, like I said, and you probably heard early in the stream, whereas all the other boys were enjoying the Sailor Scouts themselves at their young, preteen ages, it was the monster girls that really appealed to me. So yeah, I can't really do one-for-one names, but we'll see what happens. Hold on. And it was mostly the monster girls from the first season, so I can at least go over them quickly. But there's a couple of them that stands out a bit. Okay, let's see. And I can't really do. Oh, good. The Sailor Moon Wikipedia does have a pretty good picture. You know, in retrospect, a lot of these monster girls are pretty goddamn terrifying. It's like, yeah, forgive me for what I'm about to say, but it's like many of them have like beautiful bodies, but like terrifying, scary monster faces. Unless you're into that kind of weird thing. But and sadly, I only have their Japanese names here, so I really can't say it. But one monster girl I thought was really cool, who would just be like a really cool villain in her own right, is Thetis, who was sort of a water-based villainess who, with Jedi, she took over a cruise ship. And she looked very cute in her human form, but her monster form is very nice. And then there's Marudo, who posed as a sort of princess at an amusement park. But then she turned into her true form, which is like this weird, creepy doll version of herself, robot doll lady. And while she's not exactly waifu material as far as attractiveness go in her monster form, it's such an interesting, cool looking character. I don't mind. Who else do we have here? Oh, there was Widow, spider monster. She's a very cute spider. I wouldn't mind being stuck in her web. And then there's Castor and Pollux, twin monster girls with tails, pink and red skin. They're very cute. They're like skimpy models. I also forget there's a couple of male monsters here too. That's something Sailor Moon needed more, a mix between male and female monsters, because there's this weird marionette puppet skeleton character named Jamo, who's actually really cool looking. He'd be a decent villain if he was given a chance. Um. Oh yeah, going back memory lane with a lot of these monsters. Oh, here we go. The seven great Yomai, who sadly never joined forces. These were like seven legendary Yoma monsters. That's what the monsters in the first season of Sailor Moon were called, the Yoma. But these seven monsters were really well designed, with maybe the exception of Boxy, aka Bobo the Vulture. But there's two very attractive monster girls here. There is Roki Keldar, who is sort of a green-skinned elf science lady, rocking the mohawk and the bald head. And Vina, who's this very cute angel-looking monster gal. Okay. Some of these guys get a little ridiculous looking, though, but still cute in their own way. Oh, yeah, Ani Wabandana. She was a ninja lady, so if you're into dark leather. The Doom and Gloom girls, you barely see them, but sexy evil moth ladies, yeah. So, okay, that was the Yoma villains. Yeah, hold on, I know some of the Cardian monsters were really cute, so, and then after that, I think I stopped watching Sailor Moon, because at that point, we kind of got out of it. And the Cardians, of course, were card-based monsters that were exclusive to the anime itself. Some cool characters there, but I think the one that I had the biggest crush on was, and this is insane, Minotauron. Actually, yeah, I think I might actually, hold on, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that was the one I fancied the most. But in all retrospect, she was, revisiting her, she was goddamn terrifying. You know that comedy terminology they made in Futurama called scare rouse, where you are terrified but aroused at the same time? Yeah, it was this character, because, yeah, she's a very sexy Minotaur lady, but she has terrifying red eyes, very sharp horns, and in the actual animated episode herself, she was goddamn terrifying. If she was giant size, she could probably give Godzilla a good fight. So, or at least just beat the living shit out of him. But yeah, she was a scary villain. And yet, for some reason, I definitely had a very big liking for this character. I tried drawing her once, but she came off a little too soft looking. But maybe I might, revisit this character. So, but yeah, those are the top Sailor Moon monster girls I fancied. So, oh yeah, there was also, oh god, what's her name? There was like a mermaid girl too. Yeah, there was like this one tragic monster who was like a Japanese yokai mermaid. Hold on, I'll bring a picture of her. But she was definitely interesting because she wasn't really a regular monster. There was this character. She had a really fantastic design. Even if I wasn't a weirdo, I think this would be a really cool design. But she was a tragic character who our heroes ultimately helped save in the end. So, and that's cool because it's nice to have monsters who aren't a part of the main villain organization. And then, yeah, this is Marudo herself, the evil queen. Like I said, it's a very interesting design, although she was a cutie in her human form as well. But yeah, this is definitely one of those monsters that are so memorable, they should have brought her back as a recurring villain, I think. So the whole weird clockwork Disney princess creepiness here. Really cool. I think Tim Burton would have liked this one. So, and you know, while I'm at it, I might as well show off Thetis because I thought she was like, she's definitely one of those few villains, monsters of the week who could have passed off as a main villainess if given a chance. Hold on. Oh, I can't find a good picture of her. That's okay. I think we'll stop this weird conversation. There's this fan art piece of Thetis, though. Might as well show that off. They don't say who drew this, but yeah, it gives you a good idea. Just like that's a really cool design. She was a really intelligent, cool character with her own personality. She worked well with Jedi, the first of the generals, so she should have stuck around a little longer. But yeah, very appealing design, great villain, and again, she's one of those unique villains where she wasn't really a monster of the week, more of a honorary lead villain who just shows up for a few episodes. So yeah, she should have come back more often. Okay, let's see how the embarrassing replies to what I just shared. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Okay, we got a lot here to read. Bum. Okay, Warrior King says, just throwing it out there since you were talking about how the Sailor Moon Monster Gals kind of started it all for you, Raph. Yes. And then Warrior King says, I like Castor and Pollux too. I think the tails and outfits made them stand out, plus the duo gimmick. Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, let me find a picture of Castor and Pollux because yeah, they are definitely cuties. Like I'm surprised there's more like the sad thing about a lot of monsters of the week is that they don't get a chance to return. So I think it's easy for people to kind of instantly forget these characters. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, that's these two are very cute. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah, this is the weird part where I'm going to lose more subscribers because of this. But yeah, it's almost like Japanese pop idols by the way of scary lizard women. So there you go. Oh, here's a better picture of Castor and Pollux. Oh wait, no, I can't access it. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's continue reading the weird streams. Okay. Do any of them top Madame Woe for you, though? Or the female version of Eldrad? Eldrad. Who's Eldrad? Eldrad, that's a name. God, that's a female version of Eldrad. I don't get that reference, Warrior King. Oh, Eldrad from Doctor Who. No, Eldrad is the sexiest rock monster in all of history. Yeah, that character, like it's a fantastic character and a performance, but yeah, Eldrad from the Doctor Who story, the Deadly Hand, I think it's called, or the Hand of Doom. The Hand of Fear. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic character design. Hold on. Oh, somebody actually did some really cool cosplay of her. Oh darn, I'm trying to find a decent sized picture of Eldrad. This is ridiculous. Okay, the only picture I can find, only decent sized picture of Eldrad I could find is this questionable one of Tom Baker's doctor, Sarah Jane Smith, and Eldrad. Because for a while they think Eldrad is a character who they can help, but it turned out she was kind of a bad guy. On the other hand, Tom Baker has joked that Eldrad was such a cute little rock monster that, you know, I think they just kind of both fell in love with her instantly. But yeah, Eldrad is definitely one of the... She's cute. Okay, now it's getting stupid. Let me finish reading the comments. Oh, Win is here. Win says, yeah, a lot of the original anime had on and off filler since the manga was still being worked on. Sailor Moon Crystal, however, follows the manga to a near T. Also, Morning Raph. Hey, Win, it's nice to see ya. We're going to be ending this stream pretty soon. But yeah, we got... Oh, man, I mentioned that I think it was the Sailor Moon Monsters of the Week girls that ruined me as far as loving fictional monster ladies. And it's like there's been this thing going online where people are asking, who was the first animated character you fancied? And I think thinking about it, there were a couple, like the two cat girls from Tank Police or Biko from Project A-ko. But I think the Sailor Moon Monster girls kind of doomed me in that regard. So, doomed and gloom girls, I should say. And Warrior King says the Doom and Gloom girls were definitely memorable, great designs, very attractive, and unexpectedly scary when they make those fanged monster faces. I agree, the Cardians were overall a solid group of monsters. And then Warrior King says the lake yokai is who you're thinking of, I think. She was a monster, but not one of Barrel's creations, I think. She kind of looked like a sea dragon themed Lamia mermaid. She was cool too. And like I said, the fact that she was not a part of the main group of villains and she was a sympathetic character who our heroes actually saved in the end, I think that made it a very memorable episode in general. So, can't see the pictures you're sharing, Raph. Oh, darn. Oh, darn. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, the pictures aren't showing up. Okay. Okay, then. Yeah. No, that's a shame. Okay, then, yeah, maybe I'll have to do a share screen here. Hold on. Oh, wait. Before I do so, yeah. Let's save Galia Theodora here. I keep saying her name wrong. Okay, so prepare for the beings. Okay, I'm going to save the backup file. But I got a lot of work done on her. Okay, excellent. And that way when I go back and do the gradients, which I think I'll save for Tuesday, it'll be a lot easier. So, okay, but yeah, no, it's weird. Usually when I pull a picture in, it should work. But yeah, let me do the Castor and Pollux one more time. Okay, let me see if that works, because that usually does work. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hey there, Win, says Warrior King. Okay, can you guys see it? Okay, you should be able to see it on the screen. I think the problem I did was I didn't bring them in. So, okay, because according to the OBS, the girls are showing up on the screen, but if they're not showing up on the stream, then I don't know what... Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'll go over these monster girls one more time, just to make this stream a little more coherent. Okay, so there's Castor and Pollux, and like I said, they have this really sexy Japanese idol lizard lady thing going on. They almost look like Star Wars or Star Trek villains. So, yeah, and the duo thing was really cool. Okay, who else do we have? Bum, bum, bum. Okay. And then going back to Thetis, like I said, Thetis was probably one of my favorites. Not less so in the attractiveness. This is a fan art piece again, but just because she was a really cool character of all. She was like this weird white-skinned alien who controlled water. Her human form was really cute, but also she was a really competent villain in her own right, and definitely somebody who was worthy to be a recurring villain as opposed to just a simple monster of the week. So, okay, I'll close that up. All right. These are the Doom and Gloom girls, and like you said, they say they are way too sexy and cute for their own good, but they're still terrifying, especially when they have the scary monster faces go on. But some context just to show how screwed up I am as an individual, thanks to girls like these. So, and they're also, technically these gals are famous because they actually ended up killing the Sailor Scouts at the end of their story. So, that's something a lot of people, of course, or they got sent to the Dark Dimension. Ooh. Okay. Now, this is the character of Vina I was mentioning earlier, the angelic Yoma. And yeah, her design was she's very cute. This is definitely a girl I had a crush on. So, yeah, she's one of the 7 great Yomas. And thankfully, apparently she's one of the few Yomas the 7 great Yomas were reincarnated as human beings because they were too powerful to destroy. So in a sense, she's, they actually ended up saving her, turning her back into a human at the end. So, but it would be interesting to revisit the 7 great Yomai ideas again, although I think they may have been anime original characters again. Okay, who else do we got here? Oh, right. Okay, Yoma, Sailor Moon. Sorry about this. Rambling on about female monsters. It's ridiculous. Oh, cool. There's some actual concept art for some of these characters on Pinterest that are really good. really good fan art. Oh, wow. Okay, there's quite a couple of them. I'm not going to go through all of them, but yeah, this is very, very appreciated. Uh-oh. Okay, looks like I can't access them. Yeah, these might be fan pieces, but yeah, here are some of the more seven great Yomas, as well as the rare male Yomas. One of them was Sailor Mars's grandfather, and another one was actually a cat that they befriended. But yeah, I think more male Yomas would have been appreciated. But here's the other. I forgot her name. It's really complicated, but this is the science lady. And yeah, she was really cute. And there's Vina again. So, okay. Take those off. All right, and what was okay? I might as well show Minotauron again because yeah, Minotauron was the one I fancied a lot. So Minotauron Sailor Moon. This is ridiculous. This is going to be used against me. Raph, why are you such a weirdo? At least I'm open about it. Or am I? I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go over all the ones we just shared, but I'll just mention Minotauron again. Yeah, of all the Sailor Moon monster girls, this was my number one waifu, so to speak. The one that I most had the crush on. Or the most I fancied, I should say. But like I said, like, there must have been rose-tinted glasses because she is a generally scary character. It's like now looking at design, she looks like she could cut you, with the horns and the shoulders here. The spikes on the little shoulders. Oh, the elbows, I should say. And the animation herself, she was actually a terrifying berserker. Like I said, if she was giant size, she could probably have a decent battle with Godzilla. That's how scary she was. And to jokingly paraphrase Futurama, she's definitely an excellent example of being scare roused or scare rousal, the mix of being aroused and scared. But yeah, for some reason, this was my number one Sailor Moon monster girl. It's like, ooh, hello, lady. And then it's like, oh no, she's going to kill me. So, and I tried doing fan art of the character. Let me see if I can actually bring up the fan art to kind of compare and contrast. And it was really terribly done fan art because it doesn't look anything like her. Bum, 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 bum. This is embarrassing. You guys don't want to be hearing this in the morning. Oh, wait, you're my fans. You do want to be hearing this in the morning. Okay. Hold on. I'll bring up, I have it uploaded. Oh, here we go. Better yet, let me save this picture because there's no way I can zoom in on it. Oh, wait a minute. I can. Okay. So, yeah, here is the original design for Minotauron, which is a great design. And then this is a part of a collage of sketches I did a while ago. Just random characters. Some of them are original, some of them are fan art. And down here, I don't know if you can see her well enough, but that was my take on Minotauron from Sailor Moon. And see, I did not get the design well. She's a lot more softened, she's a lot more aged up, she's a lot more sexier. Actually, they're both sexy. Look at this. Yeah. So yeah, it's not very good fan art. So I'd zoom in more on it, but hopefully you guys can see on the OBS as it is. So I'll just... And who else do I got here? I got the giant killer octopus from Tentacles, Hippolyta, a hippo girl that somebody gifted me to be my own character, a giant murderous vulture monster, a failed attempt at a ghost kaiju, Faye, a giant alien monkey girl. So this is actually a good design right here. I gotta ink and color that in the future. The pirate captain from Doctor Who. I really should finish this fan piece sometime in the future. Warhead Harry, an original robot villain. Tila and Madame Woe, speak of the devil. Electra, a sexy Pikachu type gal created by my friend Anime Wave. Some unused sketches for Brendan Tenold. Zegra. The underbed monster with her lover, a human goth, based on a character created by Chad Rocco. Mickey the Sphinx, the Atomic Skull from DC Comics, and Ryojin Nin, another monster created, a sexy, handsome dragon man from my friend Anime Wave. But yeah, there's a big disconnect between the dream version, the softened dream version of Minotauron, and the scary original version. But yeah, no, this is number one Monster Girl as far as I'm concerned. So, okay. Let's read some final comments before we end this crap fest. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Oh, Cody Batch is here. He says over the summer I binged the entire OG Sailor Moon anime for the first time. I liked it. It was pretty good, but I hear the reboot show Sailor Moon Crystal is actually better. And Warrior King says solid sketch. Bum. When the Rogue says Rhett Butler, Hercules, and the old Deke dub had a cool werecat design. Oh, I didn't even know that. Neat. So, all right. Oh, okay, we got some more questions going on here. Okay, hold on. Actually, let me put something interesting on the screen so you're not just looking at a blank screen here. What other monster stuff I got going on? Oh, I'll put Agitar back up since you guys... Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, it's at a point where I have to close up everything because sometimes Photopea will stop working after a while. So yeah, let me reload it. I'll answer these final questions and I'm going to call it quits. Because, yeah, I like to do groceries before the lunch crowd begins. Oh, better yet, I'll just put this little stupid joke up. Okay. Alright, so, Warrior King says, if freezer species had females, this would probably be pretty close to what they look like, says Warrior King. Yeah, and then Win the Rogue says, I'm seeing it now. Nakio Takaguchi was a big fan of fashion, so it made sense they looked authentically pleasing. Also, the Doom and Gloom girls had a successful kill count, unlike most of the Yoma against the Sailor Guardians. Indeed. Then Warrior King says, here's a serious question now. What sort of new monster opponents would you like to see Godzilla face in future film installments as opposed to new versions of older monsters? Godzilla's practically battled everything imaginable. So yeah, it's like if they did bring back older Godzilla villains, I would love to see them do what they did with Megaguirus. Take a relatively obscure monster and either do like an updated reimagining of the character or something similar. So yeah, something like that. But with that says, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the lesser known comic book or animated Godzilla villains be brought into the forefront, or at least have hypothetical dream battles. Like, you can't do a crossover between Godzilla and one of the giant worms from Dune, but it would be like to have Godzilla fight a massive burrowing worm-like creature. But we'll see what happens. It's always cool to see new monsters in the Godzilla franchise, but it's always great to revisit the old favorites as well. Warrior King then follows up saying, funny thing about Sailor Moon, season 1 feels like the beginning and the end of the story because originally that's what it was meant to be. I hear, but it was so successful, Takuguchi kept going. And then Cody Batch, he introduces himself. Good morning, Raph. Good morning, Raph. Hope you're doing well today. I am. Unfortunately, I will be ending this stream in the next 20 minutes. We're going a little longer than just expected. Warrior King says, just throwing that out there because none of the Sailor Moon Season 1 villains feel like starter baddies, if you catch my drift. Like Captain Morgan from One Piece or Raditz from DBZ. Alright, and then Wynn mentioned Rhett Butler, Hercules and the old Deke dub had a cool werecat design. Yes. And then Warrior King says, it's okay, Raph. We already know that you're weird, and likely so are the rest of us. That's why we follow you. That's why many of you are my friends. So, friends and admirers. It really does mean a lot to me. I do suffer from depression, so... You haven't coughed in a while, I've noticed, says Goji Shay. And yes, I think we were all weird on our own ways here. Yeah, I think I got most of the unfortunate morning crud out, but it was pretty bad, unfortunately. I might have to stay home this weekend. Then I'm going to reread this from Cody Batch. Over the summer, I binged the entire OG Sailor Moon anime for the first time. I liked it pretty good, but I hear that the reboot show, Sailor Moon Crystal, is actually better. And then Warrior King says, solid sketch work, Raph. Cody Batch again says, showing up at the end again. Sorry for my life, AOL. That's okay. I'm going to try to do an earlier stream on Tuesday afternoon just to see how that works out instead of doing either the early morning or late night stuff. Warrior King says, I've seen both series, but I still prefer the 90s version, so sue me. I like the Monster of the Week shows and the 90s animation. Cody Batch says, I respect that. And then Warrior King replies, thanks, man. Right back at ya. And then they start to hold. No, I'm not going to say that. They start to hug. Cody Batch says, like a reimagining of Maguma or the Griffin from Latitude Zero. Exactly. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the lesser known Godzilla villains be brought back and either empowered or made even stronger than before. And I think Maguma and Griffin would be excellent choices in that regard. So yeah, maybe like a creepier giant version of Skeleturtle, or the Condor or something like that. But at the same time, like I said, the Godzilla franchise has so many classic, wonderful monsters that it's always great to revisit old favorites. And then Warrior King says Titanosaurus would be cool again to see, or as you said earlier, Raph, a proper Godzilla versus Rodan film would be awesome. Yeah, we got Titanosaurus's anniversary coming up in 2005, so hopefully we'll see something with that character. And there are a lot of story possibilities with Titanosaurus that I think is sadly not touched upon. The fact that he is a sympathetic monster who's being forced to attack the world under the orders of mad scientists and supervillains, mad scientists and evil aliens, I should say. So yeah, I think it would be great to touch upon Titanosaurus and maybe even make him a full-on good guy or ally to Godzilla, since they're both aquatic dinosaurs. So although Godzilla got the short end of the stick by being hit in the face with an atomic bomb. And then Cody Batch says, I hug nobody. That's a lie. I love hugs. That's okay. I know I'm inappropriate with a lot of my silly humor, so apologies ahead of time. You know, it's usually coming from a place of teasing love. And then Wynn says, normal? What's normal? Indeed. Normal is just varying degrees of acceptable weirdness. So, at any given time. So, you can quote me on that one. And then Cody Batch says, we need a new Titanosaurus content ASAP, so much undermined potential is being wasted with that character. Indeed. Okay, so we got 20 minutes to go. If you have any final questions, now's the time to do it. Goji Shea says, I always had the idea in my head for a King Caesar versus Titanosaurus story. Interesting. So, yeah, there's a good chance we're going to be seeing some major King Caesar content next year, because 2004 is the anniversary of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I'm really hoping they bring back King Caesar as a proper creature suit, because King Caesar is a really cool character. And if we are doing a continuation of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar fighting King Ghidorah, I think King Caesar would be a great person to join in the battle. On the other hand, though, we do have Mechagodzilla's anniversary next year, so my prediction is we might get a live-action suit recreation of King Caesar, and we're going to get a CGI short film celebrating Mechagodzilla. Especially since, the last two animated CGI films had Gigan and Megalon, so maybe mankind gets a hold of that advanced, freaky, deaky alien undersea Atlantis technology. And boom, we get Mechagodzilla. Or maybe we'll get a completely new project featuring the characters. But yeah, I would love to see King Caesar come back. He'll probably be in the advertisement for Okinawa tourist destinations. Okay. And then Cody Batch says, you're an awesome dude. Let nobody tell you otherwise. Thank you. Thank you. It's like, I know I might be a bit in a bubble between positivity, but it definitely helps the soul a lot. So, but yeah, I really do need to expand my guest roster in the future as far as these shows are concerned. So yeah, got 19 minutes left. I am definitely ending this at 9 o'clock because I like to do my grocery shopping roughly around 8:30 to 11 o'clock, or 8:30 to 10:30. That's when I like to go out and do morning groceries. In the future, I think I'll do my morning streams around 8 o'clock. That's when everybody's usually awake at this time, based on what I'm seeing right now. Warrior King says, King Caesar returning along with Mecha G for a live-action match would be cool, but don't Godzilla and JJ still need to take down Ghidorah next year? That's what I mean. I think when they do the the continuation of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar live action film, I think King Caesar would be a perfect fourth monster to add into that short film. That, or they'll just ask for more money to actually make a new Ghidorah costume, because I appreciate that they refurbished the old GMK King Ghidorah, but the fact that nobody can fit in the costume and it's being animated like a giant marionette puppet is proof that they definitely need something better. Unless they got some really cool ideas up their sleeves, like maybe they'll refurbish the costume a third time, and we'll get something really cool for next year. Cody Batch has a question. He says, which of the short G-Fest films have you been enjoying more? The animated Gemstone shorts or the Suitmation shorts? I deeply appreciate them both, but if I had to take one or the other, I think I like the live action ones a lot more because they're keeping up the tradition. They're bringing back these classic Toho monsters in their original forms, with some little updates here and there, like actually giving Gigan an honest to goodness laser beam from his forehead, and Jet Jaguar just being a full on giant robot with glowing eyes that are turned on all the time. But for the most part, I'm really enjoying the live action short films a lot more. The Gemstone ones, though, they continue to impress. I like their weird blimp versions of Gigan, believe it or not. And we have so many different versions of Gigan, that's more than okay, in my opinion. And their version of Megalon was just top notch. So I'm actually happy that we have both. But if I had to pick one or the other, I think I'm leaning more into the live action stuff. Win the Rogue says, I'll be sure to pop in sometime if my schedule doesn't get too crazy. Oh, yeah, it's like maybe next week. We'll do either a morning stream, but I definitely am working on some more scripts for you, Win. And if things go well, Brayton will finally get some material with you and me finally finished. I won't reveal it, but there's a certain character outside of Boo that Win will be voicing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? That was weird. I'm sorry. Warrior King says, I'd like to see see Godzilla get a new suit too. Yeah, like they did a good job refurbishing the stunt costume from GMK, but a little bit of fixes here and there would be most appreciated, especially in the neck area. And the Warrior King continues saying, I do like the longer necks they put on GMK King Ghidorah. The old ones were too stumpy. Yeah, but they just feel a little too light and wavy for my taste. I kind of preferred the original GMK version, even though it was obvious the guy was operating it with his hands. I respect that, Raph. Thanks for the awesome answer, says Cody Batch. Warrior King then continues saying, I dig both films' short styles. I hope Gem Megalon gets a movie marathon movie monster vinyl. Oh yeah. No, again, that version of Megalon was just, chef's kiss. So, and Win the Rogue says, sounds good. Yes. So I'm going to keep it a surprise once we get the video done. But I am going to do, in addition to the comedy video that Win did the voice for, that isn't a Boo-related project. It's another female character. I won't say who. We're keeping it a surprise. That one should be done this month. We're doing a follow-up to the Glue podcast, but it's going to be a surprise video. But depending on how it's executed, we'll see if it'll be made public or not. And then, of course, I'll do a precursor to the comedy skit video. So yeah, there'll be a lot to look forward to before the month is over. But I wanted to at least do one stream for this week before I head off with my friends over this weekend, or stay home and just stay heavily medicated like I was before. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything else I can share on the screen, image-wise? Oh, wait. Yeah, there is one more thing. Okay, so one last announcement. This Monday night on my Enshohma Lives Twitch channel, which you can find in the description, it's right underneath my PayPal donations. Around 9 o'clock Central Time, me and Brayton will be doing a live watch of Horror of Dracula for our the movie Graveyard Shift series, where we discuss a movie, where we watch a movie, usually one I've never seen before, and then we discuss it in full after the fact. But this one is really exciting because it is one of the classic Hammer horror movies, and despite being a big fan of the Hammer horror movies, I've never seen Horror of Dracula myself, and this is apparently the first one with Christopher Lee. I've I've heard a lot about it through documentaries about Christopher Lee. But yeah, this will be my first time sitting down and watching a movie. And not only does it have Christopher Lee playing the Dracman himself, but we got Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Michael Goth. So yeah, it's going to be a really cool, really awesome to finally get a chance to see this movie in full. So yeah, and it's from the late 50s too. So it's still classy Hammer before they got overly abundant in the blood and boobs, or blood and bosoms, I should say. It is British after all. But yeah, we're doing a live watch of that on Twitch TV, so definitely join us if you can. I'll see if I can try to do a co-stream on YouTube just to catch our commentary sections. But yeah, looking forward to this. This will definitely be happening Monday night. If it gets canceled, we'll try to move it in for Sunday or something, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Friday night too. And let's read some more comments. Cody Batch says, I wonder if the commercial featuring Ghidorah with those samurai came up first or the JJ short did. In other words, which was the source for King Ghidorah's long necks? Okay, so when they, there was a Godzilla pachinko game, many decades ago. I think a little after 2004. And it was one of the last things directed by Heisei era effects director Kato Kichi. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Apologies in advance. But they decided to reuse a lot of the Godzilla suits from Godzilla 2000, Godzilla Final Wars, and GMK since they were still in great condition. And for King Ghidorah, they decided to use the GMK one because that was a more traditional King Ghidorah. And that's when they extended the necks and puppeteered them like the classic King Ghidorah of old. So the costume was basically in a bad shape, just sitting in museum displays. But for the commercial, it was recently refurbished. But it's still an old costume, so now they just operate it as a giant marionette, like I said. But yeah, that's where the long necks originally came from. So they've been there for a long while. But with that said, I don't know if the commercial and reusing King Ghidorah for the Jet Jaguar short film was always the plan in the first place. But if you still have these creature props, it's okay to reuse them, especially since, hey, we get to revisit old characters again. How awesome is that? And then Cody Batch says, I hope you enjoy it, Raph. It's absolutely awesome. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing absolutely bring it. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's funny. I've heard about this movie a million times before. I'm a big fan of Peter Cushing, Michael Goth, and Christopher Lee. So it'll be finally nice to see this movie in person. So Goji Shea says, this will be my first time watching The Horror of Dracula as well. And then Cody Batch says, oh yeah, I love those clips. They used to be on YouTube. I watched the hell out of them. Indeed. So, oh yeah, the pachinko game machines. Okay, yeah, the pachinko Godzilla live action footage. Okay. Oh wait, yeah, I promised I would also play the trailer for The Wrong Guy at the end of the night. So yeah, let me find that on YouTube before I forget. And I shouldn't get any too bad of a copyright strike. Or we'll see what happens. But yeah, The Wrong Guy, by the way, for those who haven't heard, it's a comedy from 1997. And it's a really great comedy. If you can find a copy, I know Kino Lorber sells a fairly affordable DVD of it, or Blu-ray. So I would highly recommend it. Although give it time, they'll probably come out with an even better version of it. But it's a greatly underrated movie. The best way I can describe it, imagine Alfred Hitchcock meets the Marx Brothers and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And it's all you need to know. So yeah, the trailer might suck though, because I've never seen the trailer before. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the movie there's several uploads on YouTube in full. From places like X Chibi Cole X, The Wrong Guy 1997. And there's also the the Kids in the Hall fan page. I doubt it's official. They uploaded The Wrong Guy. So yeah. Yeah, so you can actually okay, hold on. I'm gonna be a little sneaky. I'm gonna go ahead and share the Wrong Guy in the comments section. You can either watch it on your own, or we might do a live watch for 1% Weird sometime this maybe Friday I'll do a live watch of The Wrong Guy too, because it is a generally awesome movie. Okay, hold on. yeah, if you want another movie to watch over the weekend, or you've already seen Godzilla -1, check out The Wrong Guy. This is just one upload. There's several more on YouTube. They're not official, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm going to end the night by playing the trailer to The Wrong Guy. End the morning, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to read these final comments, and then after that, we're going to call it a night. Oh, Hollywood Pictures. There might be a good chance that the Nostalgia Critic might actually review this movie this year, since he's decided to do all the Hollywood picture films a part of his Disney-cember. Today is Friday, Raph. What did I say? Did I say today was Sunday? Darn it. Oh, next Friday for 1% Weird. Yeah, I'm not doing anything tonight. Yeah, no, this coming Monday, we're doing Horror of Dracula. And then next Friday, we're doing... We'll be probably bringing back 100% Weird one way or another. Okay. Warrior King says, I'll try to catch the live stream Monday, Raph. Peak season at work, but we've been starting earlier, so I should be out in time. Excellent movie selection. I can't believe you haven't seen that film yet. Yeah, again, I've only seen like 3 movies. Megamind, Gamera the Brave, Ghostbusters? So I really need to see more movies. Gamera the Brave, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Megamind. Those are the only 3 movies I've ever seen. So, and then Cody Batch says, stay awesome. Hope you got the rest of a good day. Oh, thank you very much. So, hold on. Yeah, since I'm done doing artwork, I can transition. So, yeah, we'll be ending the show in a few minutes. Oops. Yeah. So yeah, let me read some final comments if any of you guys have final comments. But other than that, thank you very much. Today was a very fun stream. I think in the future when I do it, I'm going to do it a little later around this time so I can get more people. But I'm going to do an afternoon stream and see how that goes. So, and sorry for some of the technical goofs ups, as well as me being sick and having some unfortunate coughing issues. All right, and again, I've never seen this trailer, so I have no idea if this is a good trailer or a shitty trailer, or if they give away too much. But yeah, definitely save that link in the chat section, and definitely watch The Wrong Guy sometime this week if you can, or we'll watch it together one way or another soon. But I highly recommend the movie. It's really good, and you might enjoy it so much you want to add it to your DVD collection. Megamind must be really special for you, Raph, huh? I don't know why. It's a movie I still enjoy a lot, even though it has its flaws. But that might be a Megamind night. I'll go more in detail about Megamind another time. Warrior King Forever says, have an awesome weekend, everyone. I look forward to discussing Godzilla -1 with my fellow fans after I finally see the movie tomorrow, discussing with those who've seen it too, mind you. Goji says, catch you next stream, Raph. And then Warrior King says, destroy all spoilers. So yeah, Cody Batch, Goji Shay, Jugless Juggler, Win the Rogue, Big Jack Films, and to anybody else I may have accidentally missed, and I apologize if I did, but you definitely were mentioned earlier. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And hold on, let me just prepare the technical stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I forgot I have this fun little drive-in screen I haven't really done in a while. Okay. Yeah, I like this little drive-in screen. Yeah, I do have a lot of videos coming later this month. For now, just expect a lot of live streams and basic uploads. Okay. And the thank you card. Always got to get the thank you card ready. It's my style. I kind of like to do it. Okay. Okay, now I'm ready. So yeah, thank you for this impromptu episode of Brace Your Eyes, Dawn Has Arrived. And I leave you with a trailer of 1997's The Wrong Guy. Again, I've never seen this trailer before. It could probably suck. But in the chat section, definitely save that link and check out the movie. I highly recommend it. So if you want another good movie to watch, definitely check out The Wrong Guy. And thank you guys for attending. Thank you for letting my freak flag fly with the Sailor Moon monsters. You guys are awesome. Big thanks to anybody watching this stream who couldn't attend the chat section, or anybody who revisits in the future. And yeah, hopefully I'll get back to 1K subscribers. I just need 1 or 2 more people. But we'll see how that goes. So, but other than that, thank you so much, everybody. You're all awesome. You're all deeply appreciated. And I will see you later.
Big promotion's being announced today, and I think I know who's going to get it.
The new president, big surprise, Ken Daly.
What? And I am engaged to your daughter.
Daly here is engaged to my favorite daughter.
What kind of a man has a favorite daughter? And if you do have a favorite, then you should label them favorite and not favorite. I swear I will kill you. Ah!
So that's the woman that found the body?
No, sir, that's a man.
Really?
That's him!
Nelson Hibbert is a wanted man.
How far will $36 get me?
Who's there?
Just need your name for records?
My name is Dr. Helen Harris.
No, that's my name.
He's smart. Super smart. The guy I saw stuck his head in a water machine.
Or is he?
Yeah, the police think he killed Randall Nagel.
Let's focus all our energies on catching this killer. No, they think I killed Randall Nagel.
No, they don't.
Dave Foley.
I must live in hiding, never able to rest, never a moment's peace, starting at every noise. What's that, I'll say?
David Anthony Higgins.
Call the snipers to get in position.
I can hear you!
Sorry.
Jennifer Tilly.
Did I have one of my spells again?
I'm guessing you did.
And Com Fiore.
He's getting in the way. I'm gonna get rid of him.
In the story of a man on the run. The wrong guy.
This doesn't look anything like me.
No, it doesn't.
It's me.
Oh, it wasn't that bad of a trailer.